Stay focused and trust the process. Do you understand what that means? Have you ever really thought about it? Today we're going to dive deep into it. Welcome back to the Marcus Allgood Show. I appreciate everybody listening and watching. Reach out if you have any questions, and definitely, if you get any value out of this, please share it with anybody that you think could use it. Today we're talking about staying focused and trusting the process. Probably one of the hardest things there is to do. A lot of people think they need motivation to get started, and the motivation keeps them going, but really staying focused and trusting the process is the core to getting things done and becoming great at what you're doing. So understanding the concept, definition, and core idea of staying focused refers to the ability to concentrate on a goal or task without being distracted. Trusting the process means having faith in the steps you're taking, even when immediate results aren't visible. Because they're part of a bigger proven system or path to success, together the phrase is often used as a mindset mantra to encourage perseverance, especially during long-term efforts where payoff isn't immediate. And that's one of the hardest things to do, is just to keep going when the delayed gratification is far, far away, or the gratification is just super far away. So some historical and psychological background. Some historical roots. The idea of trusting the process isn't new. It traces back to philosophies like Stoicism, where, like an example would be Marcus Aurelius, focus on what you can control and detach from outcomes. Eastern philosophy, Taoism, emphasizes flowing with the natural course, the Tao, rather than forcing outcomes. If you just go with the flow, it's much easier, but it's much harder to just go with the flow and have the faith that it's going to work out. Psychological foundations, delayed gratification. We've talked about the marshmallow test, where kids waited for a second marshmallow later showed better life outcomes, proving patience and focus pays off. They would have to wait 15 minutes for another marshmallow, or they could eat the two in front of them. But if they waited 15 minutes, they got 3 marshmallows. And the kids that waited for the third marshmallow have actually been better off in life than the other ones that did not. And they did like a 20-year study on them. Flow state, staying focused, can create peak performance states. Growth mindset, we've talked about this. Trusting the process is central to learning and development. So part of some of the current relevance in the 2020s and the 2025s, why it's more important than ever. The short-term culture, social media trains instant gratification. People want results now, and that's been happening longer than the 2020s. It's been happening longer than that. And then we got the AI plus automation age. Many feel behind or overwhelmed, making them jump from one path to another instead of committing to mastery. Remember, it takes about 10,000 hours for you to really become, not even a master, but you to really grasp what you're trying to do in that field of work that you're doing. So think about how long it takes to get 10,000 hours. You could divide that into 24 hours a day. We're not going to do the math right now. I don't have a calculator in front of me. Let's just estimate it. 24 hours a day divided by 10,000. So 10, 100,000, 10, 100, 24,000. So if you were working, let's just say, 50 days, 24 hours a day, that would probably get you about 10,000 hours. You can quote me on the math if you want, but let's just say that. Then we got entrepreneurship and side hustles. These are all the rage. Everybody thinks that everybody's an entrepreneur now. And the real definition of an entrepreneur is somebody that actually comes up with something and puts something in place, not just goes and buys a franchise, not just, goes and helps somebody else, or not even helps somebody else, but takes over, goes and buys another business. That's really not entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship, in definition in the beginning, was that you created Amazon. He was a true entrepreneur, or created Microsoft. Those guys are true entrepreneurs. Now, you can have your own business. Let's just call it small business. It's just a side hustle in the beginning, and then it just turns into something bigger and better. But the process can take years to mature. The ones who win are those who stick and iterate. they stick it out, they keep going, they push, they grind, they cry on the couch, they're hurting, but they keep pushing. They see the motivation, they see what could happen, they believe in themselves, and they just keep pushing through, and somehow they persevere and it comes out on top. Common challenges, why people struggle to stay focused and trust the process. One of them is going to be lack of immediate results. Leads to doubt, self-doubt, doubt in whether the business is working, doubt in yourself, doubt in your family, like the family's not believing in you. Like so many different things can go into the doubt, and the lack of immediate results is really, really hurtful. One thing you can do is start working out, and you're going to see the delayed gratification comes in effect way later on, or the gratification comes way later. Comparison trap. Why is it happening faster for them? Who knows? Who cares? It's about you and what you're doing. Doesn't matter what the other person's doing. Always stay in your lane. Think about what you're doing and try and compare yourself to how much better you are than you were a day ago, 2 days ago, 3 months ago, a year ago, 5 years ago. Poor planning or lack of clarity causes mental drift. Lack of clarity definitely will cause mental drift. Like you have to stay focused and eye on the prize is what they call it. Stay clear, figure out the goals that you want, and have a better game plan to get there and stay on track with those. Unrealistic expectations causing premature quitting. Unrealistic expectations can really cause some lack in clarity because you think you're going to, make $1 million by tomorrow, and it actually takes 10 years instead of 1 year, or tomorrow, one day. All right, so we're going to move on to real-world applications in business. An example, Amazon lost money for years, and Jeff Bezos famously trusted the long-term plan over short-term investor pressure. He kept with it, and now look at him. He's one of the richest men in the world and has one of the biggest companies in the world. Takeaway, build systems with delayed ROI in mind. Always have a system in place. Build it for success and stick to the game plan. If you have it written down on paper and you think it's going to work, it's probably going to work out for you. In fitness, example, muscle growth takes months and years. People who jump from program to program stall. I've been on the same program for 4 years. I will sometimes go look at some other ones, maybe do a couple workouts from them, but then still come back to the one I'm doing. It's just this one works for me. Doesn't always work for everybody else, but the one I got works for me. Takeaway, stick with a program long enough to see data-backed results. Longer than 6 weeks, longer than 12 weeks. Give it a full year before you figure out this isn't working for me. In personal development, example, learning a skill like public speaking or coding isn't linear. It's going to go up and down, up and down, up and down, but it's like mountains. You're climbing the mountains. You're going to go up and down, and each time you're getting higher and higher at the mountain, a different mountain. Track micro wins to stay motivated and embrace plateaus as part of the process. You'll break the plateau as long as you keep going. Just because you're plateaued doesn't mean you're stuck there for life. The future outlook, the value of focus and patience will rise. In a distracted world, the most valuable people will be those who can stay committed long enough to produce something meaningful. Expect more tools, apps, and coaching platforms around focus management and long-term performance tracking. You got to stay committed and get out of the distracted world. Figure out what you want to do and stick with it. Push everything else out. Practical takeaways, how to stay focused and trust the process. Set micro goals, mini goals, tiny goals, micro goals, whatever you want to call them. Track progress and small wins. Celebrate those small wins. Create structure, time blocking routines, and review systems. Systems are going to get you way further than anything else in a business. Time blocking will help out as long as you can stick to the time blocking. And then routines. I love routines. I have the same routine for working out. I have the same routine for eating breakfast. Same routine for meal prepping. Pretty much the same routine for lunch. Like, routines are boring, but they get the job done. Document the journey. Journal or digital logs to remind you of your progress. I like to take pictures of my physical body, and I track my progress through MyFitnessPal, and obviously use the scale to control my weight. Control your inputs, create your environment, or curate your environment, cut noise, and avoid comparison. I try not to compare myself to anybody. It's just me versus me, you versus you. One-on-one, I am still better than I was a day ago, still better than I was 5 years ago. So I'm on the right path. I'm doing the right things. And all I can say is just keep going, doing what you're doing. Embrace boredom. My life is so boring. So boring. Consistency is often repetitive. Mastery lies in repetition. I do the same thing over and over. I don't feel the need that I have to go jump out of an airplane because my life's so boring. It's always something different, but I have systems in place throughout the day that I put in place to make it so I don't have to think about what I'm doing at those times. I could just get through it and just repeat them, and they just go, go, go. So one of the final thoughts I have today is don't measure your day by the harvest you reap, by the seeds you plant. Robert Louis Stevenson said that. Trusting the process and staying focused is a long-term game, but it is a game that works when you work it. So that's the pod that I have today. I appreciate everybody listening. And if you get any value out of this, please share it. And I appreciate everybody. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye.